Hey, what's going on, CoinOpTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here with special guest Andrea Rene, TV host, producer, personality, video gaming guru expert, all-around awesome person, and my good friend. Andrea, good to see ya. How's it going? Happy holidays to you.
Hey, what's up, man? It's going great, and happy holidays to you too.
So in this video, we're doing Skype chatter videos. In this video, we're going to talk about the Sony PlayStation experience, on which Andrea was there in person down in Vegas, checking out some games and some panels. Am I setting this up good? Was it an exciting time there in Vegas?
Yeah, it was. You know what? I think a lot of people went into it having no idea what to expect. Obviously, the inaugural year of the PlayStation experience, the first time Sony's doing something of this scale, and I thought that they absolutely knocked it out of the park. I thought the show floor looked fantastic. It was like a mini PAX. There was all kinds of awesome indie games to play. There was, swag to get. There were panels to attend. They even had that fancy concert for No Man's Sky, which was like this trippy rave experience.
No Man's Sky, that's one of
It
your...
was all good.
So No Man's Sky, that's like one of your most anticipated games for 2015? Is that what you're saying on Twitter?
No, you know that I'm not that interested in No Man's Sky, but I thought what they did with having, I think it's 65 Days of Static, I believe is the band's name, play live while the gameplay is moving. It was an experience. Even if you're not interested in the game or you don't ever want to play the game, if you're a fan of music, it's something that, was a really cool thing to see.
All right, so you guys watching at home, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the specifics. Obviously, I guess the big one, the giant one, Uncharted 4, was it there playable? Was it hands-on? Was there theater presentations?
No, sadly, it was. They weren't showing. They weren't even doing press like behind closed door demos. Nothing. They didn't show. I had to say, what an amazing way to begin the keynote with that giant, lengthy Uncharted 4 demo. The game looks awesome. It looks fantastic. I cannot wait until next fall. I think we're probably not going to get to see that game or get hands-on with that game until E3 would be my guess. They might show us a demo at GDC. They did that for Uncharted 3 back in, I think it was 2011. I think it was the first time they showed the big Uncharted demo. So, I mean, we can hope for that, but I mean, wow, the game looks awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I have a PlayStation 4. I'm excited. Love Uncharted 2 is sort of my favorite. Do you have a favorite so far of 1, 2, and 3 for the Uncharted series?
No, I never actually played the original Uncharted, and I haven't finished Uncharted 2. I actually have it on my list. I'm in my pile of shame to finish, but I really enjoyed Uncharted 3. I played that all the way through. I actually played that 2 Christmases ago when I went home to North Dakota. I sat down with my dad, and he sat and watched me play the entire game start to finish.
Oh wow, yeah, and that's kind of what one of the commercials was. I think it was like a boyfriend playing, the girlfriend watching, thinking it was a movie. I mean, the Uncharted series is very cinematic. So I'm sure you guys watching at home have heard of Uncharted, maybe checked some of them out. So let's go down the list of some of the other Sony exclusives. Bloodborne, that's a Sony exclusive, right?
It is PS4, yeah.
Did we get to see more of that at all at the show?
Yeah, so on stage at the keynote, they showed the new Chalice dungeon, which is a multiplayer component. They are procedurally generated, and you can go in and play. Essentially, the idea is that you can go and play them, and every time you play, it's going to be a different experience. So that was really cool that they showed off a bunch of gameplay for that. That whole series, I mean, From Software does great work. Dark Souls, Demon Souls, now, Bloodborne. It's just not my cup of tea, really, so not for me, but it looks great. It looks like it's going to play great, and everyone that I've talked to that's into it really is excited for it, but I was more excited for The Order 1886.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ready at Dawn.
I was a big Dishonored fan, and that seems like a good merge from Dishonored to The Order. Am I close in that? Does it feel like a similar sort of style or vibe at all?
It kind of does. I guess I didn't really put that together, but it feels it has it has this like the stealth mechanics of Dishonored in a way, but it has like the cover shooting of Uncharted. It kind of merges them a little bit, even though I think Uncharted was better at what it did and Dishonored was better. I think the problem with the order, if we are going to be nitpicking on
Oh,
problems,
sure.
because the game looks beautiful and it plays beautiful, and they really deliver on the promise that when you're in a cutscene and you go into gameplay, that you're not going to see a difference, and it's true. Like I literally was standing there on this, so that we played this cutscene where we're rappelling down from this giant like blimp, and my character wasn't moving because I didn't know that the cutscene had ended. And then I was like, oh, it's my turn. I have to do something right now. And so it really is seamless between cutscene and gameplay, which I know there's some other big titles that we're going to see doing that next year. The one that comes to mind first is Arkham Knight. That was one of their big things for, using this next-gen hardware. But I thought that they showed a nice big chunk of gameplay this time at E3. I was a little disappointed because they only showed about 7 minutes of gameplay, and now we got to see like a solid like 30 minutes of gameplay, and it included some stealth sections and some shooting sections and some story, and it was a nice mix, and we got to see a little bit more about who these knights are and what they do. But it's still a little early to tell, which is troubling. In February, like it totally took me by surprise that February 20th is the release date for that game, and I didn't think it was coming until fall next year or spring at the earliest. But
It still
it's
may.
coming out in 2 months.
It still may be. We just found about The Witcher 3 being delayed again, so who knows? The delays may happen. Maybe May or
Right.
something. Okay, another game I want to ask about. I'm a big fighting game genre guy. Street Fighter 5 was, I guess, semi-revealed, sort of, by Capcom's YouTube
Yeah.
channel, and then we thought, well, we're gonna see it at the Game Awards, and then that didn't happen. So now it was officially revealed at the PlayStation Experience. Did you get to see more, like at all, or did you just see like a teaser?
No, I mean what you saw on stage is what they showed, because they're reserving it for tomorrow, which might not be tomorrow when this video airs, is the Capcom Cup, and that's where they're debuting like a live match of Street Fighter 5. So I'm planning to go to that and check it out for myself. But yeah, it was a really awesome reveal. I mean, definitely long overdue. I mean, how many Street Fighter 4 versions are there now? It's too many to even count. It was
That's a
funny
good.
because I made that joke to Ono-san on Twitter, and he wrote back to me like acknowledging, like, yeah, we have too many Street Fighter 4s, because I got the opportunity and honor to meet him when I was working on Street Fighter Cross Tekken Cross the Line, a show that I hosted for them a couple of years ago. But he's a cool guy. I got to see him again at the PlayStation Experience. He's so wacky and off the wall, but he's got such infectious energy. He just always seems like he's super excited about everything, and so happy to be interacting with the community and being there on the floor talking to gamers. So he's cool.
Yeah, Ono-san, and then on the Tekken side with Hadar-san, I think it's
Yeah. So
all
it's,
these.
Yoshinaro Ono is the creative lead and the founder, or not founder, but creator of Street Fighter. And then you're thinking about Tatsuhiro Harada
Yeah,
for for Tekken. Yeah.
Whenever I see those guys, if they're at a floor at Comic Con or E3, I try and give them a high five. Much love and respect for the fighting game community. I totally forgot about the cup thing going on. I'm gonna root for Justin Wong as always. Hopefully he'll take it. When we air this video, the results will probably already be out. But am I missing? Was there like a dark horse game or something that maybe we didn't chat about at the Sony PlayStation Experience?
Well, the Dark Horse game was David Jaffe's new game, Drawn to Death. I mean,
Ah.
we really didn't hear anything about that prior to the press conference. And, I mean, he was his normal cranky self on stage, swearing just for the sake of swearing. I mean, I don't understand him as a person. I don't know David Jaffe like I know some other developers in the video game world, but I did really like that he was taking a lot of time at the booth to talk to gamers. He literally was at the booth all day Saturday and all day Sunday, and people would go on and play this demo of Drawn to Death, this multiplayer arena, fast-paced shooter that has this really unique hand-drawn art style. And after each round of players they would have this little panel where David and some of his support staff, producers and such, would talk to everybody and say, what did you think? You know, what did you like? What didn't you like? We want to hear all the feedback possible. And you don't really see a lot of developers doing that on the floor of these community events. So I thought that was really cool.
Well, you mentioned David. I got to ask. I don't know if this happened at all, but was there any God of War teasers or posters or signage or anything like that?
No, I mean they confirmed on that panel that they are indeed working on it. I don't know why that's a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they're working on another God of War. It's one of their flagship franchises. It's like saying, oh, is Assassin's Creed working on another Assassin's Creed? Yes, they are.
So I
meant to say Ubisoft there, by the way. You knew what I meant.
So just a preface for the
they did have
viewers. So it's just a preface for the viewers. So there's a panel, and Corey Balog, I'm forgetting, one of the developers at Sony Studios, sort of kind of off the cuff talked about God of War, and then people were like, oh well, hey, now it's confirmed. Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I'm referencing. Yeah, but I thought it was also cool that they had Project Morpheus on the show floor, so that people could get their hands on it. I know it's been at very few shows that have been open to the public, and normally there are really long lines to try it. But I got to try Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, which is a really fun virtual reality game mixed with like tabletop. Wearing the Morpheus. I was wearing the Morpheus in this case, and I see the bomb in front of me, and it has all these different modules on it. And then Brandon Jones, the editor-in-chief of Game Trailers, was sitting next to me, and he has this giant booklet of instructions. So he's got a flashlight, and he's like looking through the instructions, trying to figure out. And so it's a communication game really between the person wearing the Morpheus and the person giving the instructions, because when you're wearing the headset, and this is also available on Oculus, they were showing it on Oculus at Indiecade. You have to be able to describe what you're seeing, like whether it be symbols or colors of wires and how many they are, where they're going, and this person needs to be able to interpret that and look it up and give you the proper instructions. Otherwise, of course, you explode. So, really fun game that's coming for virtual reality, and they had Morpheus there on the show floor. And a lot of Vita games. Finally, they were talking about Vita games. I razzed them pretty good during E3 about completely throwing Vita under the bus. And they came back strong, talking about 7 new titles coming for PlayStation Vita. One of them being Severed from Drinkbox Studios, the folks behind Guacamelee. That was a really cool game, one of my favorites from the show. Really looking forward to playing that on Vita. And lots of announcements from the third-party team for games that are coming. Suikoden and a bunch of other ones. And then the troll of all trolls from Square Enix for that Final Fantasy VII port that's coming to PlayStation 4. I thought, like, in my heart of hearts, that was going to be a remaster, and I think a lot of gamers out there who are Final Fantasy fans did. And then it turns out it's just like the PC version that you can play on PS4. I don't know if that's something that fans really want. I mean, that game is pretty old at this point. I would think that they would want something new and fresh, or at least a remaster, like make it worth my while. What do you think about that?
I mean, Final Fantasy VII is usually considered one of the best fantasy games from the Final Fantasy world. It's a weird thing because there's a lot of games I've played where it's been like a port of something and it's an exact duplicate. But since, as you say, that already exists in many forms, yeah, like give us an update, redo it from scratch or something. I mean, hey, at this point, just start from Final Fantasy 1 and just redo them. I think I actually have a couple of figures. I was playing the Final Fantasy like 3 and 4 on the DS, and those were like, I think the DS ones were kind of like newly made with the same story when those came out. I think. I forget. That was a couple years ago, but But cool. Well, I'm excited. The Vita should have some games. Thanks a bunch, Andrea, for walking us through some of the Sony PlayStation experience. I'm sure you had a great time. It sounds like it was a great time. Anything else we're missing before we kind of wrap this up there?
Oh man, there's too much stuff to cover. I mean, I just have to throw in that one of my favorite things to do, and where I spent the most amount of time at PlayStation Experience, was at the Amplitude booth with my friends over at Harmonix. I was a backer for that game. I'm so excited for that game to be coming to PlayStation 4. It's going to be cross-buy between PS4 and PS3. I loved Frequency and Amplitude back in the day in their original forms, and I cannot wait until they come out next year.
Cool. Yeah. Shout outs to Nick and all the gang over there. So and shout outs to you, Andrea. Let us know what's the best way to kind of get a hold of you there online.
Well, the best way to follow what I'm doing is to follow me on Twitter at Andrea Rene. Super easy. I tweet, what projects I'm working on, what I'm up to, whatever I'm thinking at the moment, video links, all kinds of stuff. You can also subscribe to GT News, which is my daily news show for game trailers. You can watch it on GameTrailers.com, or you can subscribe here on YouTube, YouTube.com/GT News. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome, and I'll put some links in the description below. So, guys, let us know if you at home, if you were at the PlayStation Experience, if you had a PlayStation 4 or 3 or Vita, what you're going to be picking up, what you're looking forward to for 2015. It's got to be a better year. 2015 has to be the year.
It's gonna be. It's if every game that's supposed to come out in 2015 actually comes out in 2015. I mean, we're all gonna go broke. Like
Yeah.
let's just say that. Too many good games. The game of the year contenders next year. It's gonna be a really, really tough race. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a great year to be a gamer.
Yes, yes. All right, Andrea, I'll let you go. Thanks a bunch for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.